Hello, everyone. Hope everybody is doing well. A good day to everybody. I am Devansh, and I am the lead tutor at FinTutors. That's what our company is called. We are CIMA registered tuition providers. We work with CIMA as part of motivating people and helping people to pass their exams. And this class that we are going to do is this webinar that we have arranged, or this whole schedule that we have arranged is to help our students understand the requirements of the exam, how the exam works, what you're supposed to do for your exam, and how you're supposed to study to prepare well for your operational case study exam. Now, the operational case study exam is a very particular set of skills that you will have to develop over a period of time. This is the first introductory webinar that we do as part of our whole schedule of classes that we have set. There are a lot of students who have already begun their studying with us, where they're doing their E1, P1, F1 revision with us, with our specific quiz questions, which are revolving around the I can statements. After that, once our pre-seen material is out, we will be starting to solve, to first of all do the entire pre-seen detailed analysis, and then to start with mock exam questions. So we have a whole schedule that's planned out for our students, and we have a variety of options that our students can choose from on our website. All you need to do is just go to www.fintutors.com, FINNTUTORS.com, and you can log on to our OCS page, and you'll be able to see all the different stuff and a introductory video over there as well. So as you can see on this screen, I have just put what our students say about us. These are just three students who have passed the exam with us. There are a lot more recommendations on our LinkedIn page, on our website as well. We're still uploading them, but these are just some which we have put over here. So like I said, we are CIMA registered tuition providers, and all our students have always been, positively giving us feedback about how they face the exam and how they pass the exam with our help. So we've helped many students pass their exams over the previous years, and yes, and everybody has generally given us positive feedback. Whenever somebody tells us something that they want us to incorporate, we most happily do it, because we like to maintain a relationship with all our students, just to make sure they're comfortable to ask us whatever they want, and we can help them further their chances of passing an exam. So the operational case study exam, just a brief about what a case study exam is. Now, all the case studies are similar pattern. So we teach the operational case study, management case study, and the strategic case study in the similar pattern, but obviously the core areas, but obviously the role that you are given, the pre-seen, is separate. But we like to maintain the same structure, or the same class structure, the same syllabus, how we teach the syllabus, how we incorporate the blueprints into questions. All of that we like to keep the same. But you will see that the role differs. Over here, you're a finance officer in the operational case study exam. The role changes when you move to management and strategic. So let's go first of all into just viewing what is a case study exam. Now, there might be some people who are coming to the operational case study via the exemptions route, or there might be some people who have done their E1, P1, F1 exams. So it is generally the first case study that students take as part of their CIMA qualification. So it's just good for us to know what a case study exam is. So the case study examination tests your knowledge, skills, and techniques from the three pillars within one simulated scenario, and is taken at the end of each level of the CIMA professional qualification. So when you want to finish your operational level, you take the operational case study. When you want to finish your management level, you take the management case study. So it's just telling you that the three pillars, which is E1, P1, and F1, are important for you to take the case study with confidence. Candidates are given a fictional case study. Like I said, you are given a fictional company. They can give you any company which will obviously not exist in the real world, but it will be a company on which they will ask you questions. So they will give you a full 20 to 25-page document about a fictional company. They will give you all the details of that company that you're supposed to know. We will then be analyzing them as part of our course in detail, in a very diagrammatic, easy way, so that when they ask you questions on it in the exam, you are far more enlightened, you are far more better prepared for that. So you are given a fictional case study before the examination and are expected to give solutions to the challenges presented within the exam. Now the case study mimics your role in a real work scenario at each level of the qualification. Always think of yourself as you are working for that fictional case study. Put yourself in the shoes of a finance officer at that fictional case study. Whatever company they give you, you need to think that it's your company. You need to, whatever you do at work, however you would respond, however you would give a solution, that's the same that you need to do in an operational case study exam. It simulates the role of a finance officer. So they give you the role of an entry level finance officer at the operational level, which means you won't have to make any real decisions. Your job is mainly to implement the decisions in the day-to-day activities of the business. Now, when you complete this exam, which when you are studying with us improves your chances because we give you a very set structure and easy, flexible way of studying. You are awarded the diploma in management accounting, and it really helps you further your career, even professionally and knowledge wise as well. So introduction to the case study exam. Now, as we all know, the case study tests your knowledge from the three books, E1, P1 and F1. Knowing the basics of the exam blueprint core areas from the books forms the basis of your answers. So what's going to happen is just something new which has been introduced with the 2019 syllabus is the exam blueprints. Now, what are the blueprints? Now, earlier in your old syllabus, what they used to do is they never gave you any list of topics that could be examinable in the exam. They can ask you any single thing from any single page in your E1, P1 and F1 textbooks. Anything could come up. But with the blueprints, what they have tried to do is they have given you a set of core areas or core topics that you are supposed to know, just giving you an indication or just making sure that it acts as a checklist on your particular, on your particular revision train. So whenever you're revising, you can use the exam blueprint core areas just to make sure that you are covering the most important parts which are given by CIMA. Now the exam blueprints are definitely giving you an area where you got to focus on, but they're quite broad. They will still need you to invest time in your revision. It's not that the blueprints they've given you all the topics which I'll show you, but it's not that they've highlighted that only do this much. And when even if they have highlighted the core areas, those core areas are pretty diverse. So you will still need to look at them. They're pretty much very open-ended. So you will still need to form a solution around it. Coming to exam facts, you will have 4 questions in the exam, which will be of 3 hours. Total combined time of 3 hours. So each question is given 45 minutes. Now, let's say you start the exam and the timer starts to elapse. So it goes from 45 to 0 for question number 1. As soon as the timer hits 0 for question number 1 is submitted. You cannot look at the answer again. So in 45 minutes, answer goes away, you are automatically taken to question number 2. So question number 1, 45 minutes are up, you automatically move to 2, then 3, then 4. That way you complete your exam. So remember, in those 45 minutes for the first question, you will need to read the question, understand the question, plan for the question, make your points, and then actually type it out. So you can see that you might feel that 45 minutes is pretty decent, is a cushion time given to you, but no, it's going to be really stressful. It's going to be really, time constrained when you sit the exam, because you have to do a lot of stuff. Now, if you've already practiced with us, if you've already practiced about 20 to 25 questions of practice, which we do, which is based on the blueprint, your brain is already trained on what it's supposed to do in the exam. And that's what we try to do, to get you ready for the exam, so that when you sit your paper, you exactly know what needs to be done. So this exam is all about practice. Now, case study updates. What's changed? Now the case study it's just called the case study. Earlier, it was called the integrated case study exam, which meant that in every answer that you wrote, there were a set number of marks, let's say 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, 5 marks, whatever, which were set aside for your integration knowledge, for your integration skills. Which means that, let's say you're writing something on pricing decisions. So when you write about pricing, how do you recommend, let's say, an IAS? How do you recommend team management? How do you recommend digital management? Anything. If you were to link, let's say the question is about E1, but if you were to link P1 and F1 in your answer, some way, somehow, they gave you integration marks, but that is no longer existent. So in your answer, you don't compulsorily have to take E1, P1, F1 knowledge and combine it some way, somehow in your answer. If you were to do it, fine, but you won't be given extra marks for it. So why have they done this? Because the blueprints, the exam blueprints that we spoke about, the core areas automatically combine E1, P1 and F1 in every aspect of the core area that's been chosen. So for example, core area 1 will include stuff from E1, P1 and F1. So it's automatically combining it. Hence, they will not be giving you extra side-by-side integrative marks. If you were to do it in your answer, that's completely fine. It will be good presentation, but you won't be given extra marks for it. Second, the marking process has also changed, which we'll speak about now. Now, each case study has its I can statements or blueprints or core areas, which we will again look at. So first, to the role of a finance officer. So they tell you that you have been given the role of an entry-level finance officer. So what does a finance officer have to do? What can be part of your job? First, he offers insights that influence the decisions taken by colleagues and superiors. He's not taking the decision. He'll just give insights. He'll just give, details. He'll just explain the point of view from the company. Second, the role simulated is that of a finance officer working within a collaborative team in the finance department that is responsible for planning, coordinating business operations through the preparation of budgets and other reports. So what you have to do is focus on the short term and look at preparing financial reports, data reports, how to manage data, how to, prepare budgets. So you will be more on the preparation side. Third, he will make full use of technologies that are available for the collection, cleaning, and analysis of data. Now, this is something new with your E1 2019 syllabus, where they have brought a lot of change with data management, data collection, and all of that. So your E1 syllabus is also your part. So as you can see, we spoke about budgets. P1, we spoke about digitalization. E1, the finance officer also assists in the preparation of financial reports to enable external stakeholders to understand about the business. So this comes about financial reporting, which is your international accounting standards, so F1, and the fact that the finance officer's work affects the behavior of internal and external stakeholders can raise ethical implications, again part of P1 and E1. So as you can see, the role of a finance officer revolves around the three pillars E1, P1 and F1. So again, highlighting to you the importance of going through the core areas or the blueprints to the bare minimum of your syllabus. The operational case study exam assesses the learner on 6 core activities. So we always were speaking about the blueprints. Now in the blueprints, there are 6 key main core activities that are revolving around the job of finance officer. Successfully implementing these 6 core activities will make your job easy. Now, what you see on your screen right now is the exact blueprints given by CIMA, is what CIMA has given us as core areas that we must focus on in the exam. Now, let's say core area 1 is prepare costing information for different purposes to meet the needs of management. So costing information, straight away take myself to P1 and somewhere E1 as well, because we will look at topics over here. So let's say the first one says, I can use appropriate technologies to gather data for costing purposes from digital and other sources. So if you want to use technology to first gather the data, that's your E1 syllabus. And then use it for costing is your P1 syllabus. So as you can see, in each and every core activity, there are separate I can statements that will take you to different parts of the E1, P1 and F1 syllabus, which you are supposed to revise, which you are supposed to go through, which you are supposed to, at least have good knowledge around, because this is where your questions are going to come from. As part of our course, as part of our syllabus, with Fin Tutors, you get a full I can statement explaining document. So each and every I can statement is taken and an explanation is given. So we'll give you what are the appropriate technologies, how you can find it, how can you use it for costing. All of that comes from us. So you don't have to go back to E1, P1 and F1, find the topic, learn the topic and then come back. Everything happens in one place when you study with us. Our whole system is designed to make stuff easy for the student and to make sure the student has good value for whatever they're studying with us. Same way, you will be taking each I can statement at a time, ticking it off just to make sure you have done it, you have understood that part. And with our students who are doing the revision course with us, we do quiz questions with them based on these I can statements. And then we do exactly exam style mock questions as well, which are based around these I can statements and other important topics from the textbook, which is exactly like the exam, just to make sure you are very well prepared before you step into your examination room. So these I can statements are very important. You will pick them one at a time, revise the topics from E1, P1 and F1. They're quite broad, but still you will have to invest your time over there because this is where your questions are going to come from. So just to highlight again, just to tell you that these I can statements, these blueprints are important. And there are 6 core activities. As you can see, A, B, C, D, E, and F. Each of these core activities has weightings, and you can expect a question around these core activities in your exam, which we are going to do ample of practice on. Now, just again, taking you back to the exam, we told you that there is something which was changed with the exam, the exam pattern as well. Now, when you go into the exam, this is going to be the first screen that you see. It tells you the section number, the number of tasks, the time you have been given, and the number of subtasks which you have been given. Now, what happens in a CIMA exam is the exam is first marked out of 100. Okay, so the exam, every exam, they will first mark out of 100. You need to get an 80 out of 150 to pass. In your operational case study exam, you need to score a minimum of 80 out of 150 to pass. So why do the examiners mark it out of 100? The first thing is they mark it out of 100, and then it's scaled or it's weighted to 150 according to the difficulty of your exam. Now for the operational case study exam, CIMA has 4 variants. They create 4 examinations. So if I take the exam today, I can get, let's say, 4 questions. If you take the exam tomorrow, you can get 4 completely different questions. So there are 4 variants of the exam, and each variant has has different difficulties. All 4 cannot be the same. So depending on the variant you get, a weightage is applied to your score out of 100, and it's raised to 150, and then you need to get a minimum 80 out of 150 to pass. Okay, so some variants can be difficult, some variants can be easy. If it's a difficult variant and you were to get, let's say, a 50 over here, and it's a difficult variant, they multiply it by a higher weighting, and you might be able to pass your exam. Just a very simple example. So why did I mention this? Because sometimes it's easier for students to form their answers around this. Because if the exam is marked out of 100 and there are 4 questions, which means 25 marks for each question, right? And they have also told you the percentage of time you need to spend on each subtask. Now, generally in CIMA, they say that one good, well explained, detailed point is equal to 2 marks. Okay. So if question number 1 is worth 25 marks in total, and there are 2 tasks, I will split it into half. So each task is worth 12.5 marks. And if 1 point is 2 marks, I need to write 6 to 7 well explained points for task A. If I do that, I'll get my good marks. Same way for task B, because it's 50-50, I will again write 6 to 7 well explained points. Now when you do that, you fulfill their threshold. If they are well explained, they will give you the marks and you will pass the exam. So this is the more technical side of something new that they've given, which you can divide this way, which you can use this way. In the next question, it is 60-40. So you'll divide it accordingly. Now, why do I say this? Because sometimes students get confused. How much do I write? Do I just keep on writing? What is more important? Which task is more important? So this is right there for you. If you see a 50-50 distribution, you can write 6 to 7 points for each task, well explained, well detailed, giving a good structure, and you'll get your marks. This exam is all about details, details, and details. The more you explain, the more you give them explanations, the more you put your perspective, the more marks you get. Now, having put all of this aside, we always tell all our students when they're practicing, in a normal Word file, just be able to write 2.5, maximum 3 pages in 45 minutes, and you will automatically include everything. You don't have to do any mechanical calculations. Throughout the 25 questions of practice that every student does with us, we tell them stick to 2.5 pages on a Word file. So in the exam, how much ever you write is going to be enough, because your brain is already trained. Your brain has already gone through that process. So studying with us obviously has a good structural advantage. Next, on the bottom of the screen, you see something which is like a question. This is the exact, the exact way the question will appear in the exam, and the exact, presentation that the exam is going to present to you when you actually sit it. So as you can see, they give you a small scenario that we are planning to launch something else. So we are facing this problem. Can you help us with that? So they are telling you 2 things. I need a report from you, and I'm also keen for something else. So they give you 2 tasks, and each task is 50%. So all you have to do is give them 6-7 points for each well explained task. keeping in mind this scenario, obviously. So what I'm trying to tell you is, first you read the question, understand the theme of the question, and then start actually writing. Now, writing an answer, how to write an answer, what should be the structure, all of that also comes from us, but at a little bit later stage. This is just to show you what the exam is going to throw at you. Let's put all of these technicalities which we spoke about aside to make the exam a little bit more easier. You need to think of yourself as working as part of the organization which you are given. Feel empathy for the organization, know the organization in and out, which we will help you with. Always put yourself at in the shoes of a finance manager at whatever company you've been given, and the answer will have more relevance. Always think you are part of the organization, and you won't have to consciously include every skill in your answer. It comes by itself with practice. Now, points to note: people always think that will they ask me a lot of calculations? Do I have to present? Do I have to prepare any calculations for the exam? No. The case study is the standalone exam. It does not require any detailed knowledge from E1, P1 and F1. It just needs you to be able to explain whatever you are writing in your own words. For that, you will need your basic E1, P1, F1 knowledge. You will need the basic understanding of the blueprints that we spoke about, because the detailed theory has already been tested. Now you only need to show your application, evaluation, explanation skills. So whenever you are revising any topic, don't try to mug it up. Just try and remember it in your own simple words. If you do that, definitely in the exam, you will be able to write a good answer with all the practice that we do. Now, the workbook that we create, the mock questions booklet that we create, which is written around the I can statements, will help you gain the confidence that you need. Now, how we go about studying my way? This is, like we spoke about, this is the first introductory webinar that we do for the OCS. It's only the first part, the first step that we take towards the exam. It's very generic. We will be giving, after this, you will be receiving also in the second part of our mini course, you will also be receiving, a small explanation on the I can statements, an important topic which we'll explain. It won't be all the topics, but we'll try to explain the important ones. Once you sign up with us, you will have access to everything. Now, I'll be giving all our students easy and illustrative notes, obviously the ones that sign up with us. They're not important topics, but they are definitely illustrative, easy for you to remember, acting as a trigger point. After you are done with the I can statements, after you've revised it, after you've written revision questions on it, we start to write exam style questions. Now, to check these exam style questions that we write, we do live sessions with students in a small group, just to make sure everybody can see the answers of each other. We compare, we see what the others are writing, what the best answer is. We share ideas, we have a productive discussion, and we move on to the next set of questions. So every question that you write, you keep learning, you keep growing. You'll be practicing at least 20 questions, 20 to 25 questions. And as you go about practicing, you'll keep learning new stuff. You'll keep improving your skills. It's all about growing together with us. In the case study exam, remember, there is no right or no wrong answer. It's your job to explain your opinion. It's your job to convince the examiner. We will teach you all the skills that you require throughout your study process. It's just that we like to teach step by step, making sure it's not overwhelming with all the information that we give. Now, each and every class that we do is recorded. Each and every live class that we do with our students is also recorded. So you can join in with us whenever, and you'll still have access to the same support. All our material, all our questions, all our quiz questions, all our pre-scene analysis material is very, very well and detailed, to make sure, just that you do not face any problems on the day of your exam. You will walk into the exam confident if you are to follow our structure. Now, having said that, I leave you over here with this webinar. Hope you have found it helpful. For more info, you can reach us on help@finntutors.com. If you visit our website, www.fintutors.com, FINNTUTORS.com, you will see on our OCS page, I have shared my personal number as well. Like I've said, I like to remain and maintain a personal relationship with our students. So you guys can reach me directly. You guys can write to us. You guys can visit us on our website. And we will be including you into our mini course with the next part of the course, which is the small I can statements. And from then on, you can join us to further your chances of passing the exam. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day, and I hope to speak to you soon. Thank you so much.